In the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon to my West Coast folks. Good evening to my East Coast folks. And hello, wherever you are in the world right now. It's me, Brick Something. And again, once again, I'm welcoming my brother, Ted, a.k.a. Imaginary Action, a.k.a. Julius Downey, and a bunch of a.k.a.s. Back to the Brick Something News. What's up? You look confused. Are you
What's
muted?
up? Oh, it's because, hold on a second.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry, I had the other window open for the chat, and I was getting like double brick audio.
Oh, yeah.
All now. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, this is Ted. Welcome back,
dude.
Dude.
Again. I'm back.
How are you doing?
I swear we're brothers, even though we don't look like each other. But yeah, we are.
Oh, I'm sure to a lot of people we look similar. Some would say we look exactly this. Never mind. But yes. Welcome to the show again. I know you've got some stuff to talk about today, which I'm really excited about because you've had a big weekend. Yeah, you've got a big project you unveiled.
Yes, and it has nothing to do with my job. Finally, I have something that's been in the works for like about almost a year now. So I wanted to kind of expand my horizons as far as creating things for this hobby that we all love. I mean, like from a few years back when I started customizing things and building things from scratch and whatnot. The funny thing is I got into scratch building before I even started customizing figures. Because in my mind, for whatever reason, customizing figures was harder than like building things. I don't know why. I mean, they're both difficult, but
you mean building things in real life?
Building things in real life? No. Actually, building things in real life. Yeah. No, I'm talking like, I made that motorcycle.
Oh, compared to building like the vehicles.
Yeah, and I started building that vehicle thing, and for whatever reason, I was kind of hesitant about the figures and things. But regardless, fast forward, I've been doing that now for the past however many years, and I wanted to kind of start to as we do, make more things for myself. And I said, well, if I can make it for myself, because some people have seen the things I made for myself and say, man, I wish I could have that. I started thinking about practical things that I could make and things that, exist, but maybe I could do my own take on it. Things that don't exist, try my hand at that. And then you got me sucked into the world of the Four Horsemen, and the rest is here we are. So yeah, so I launched a store, which I got some items for sale and got more things in the works. But right now I'm starting off kind of small or big, however you want to look at it. But yeah, so shameless
talk about it.
Imaginary.com. Yeah, so
you said shameless plug, but like just so you know, pace yourself. like that's the bulk today. I definitely want to bring you just like I brought on last week. Brian Burke talking all about Ashen Oath and all his like amazing like custom stuff. It's not a dissimilar story, right? It's like I started customizing and contributing to this conversation around action figures and what we can do and how we can tailor them to ourselves. Sure. And for him now it's like, well, I have ideas for like a story and a figure, like, look at this. And so, and before that, gosh, I've just been bringing different, the Corsair folks doing the pirates. So it's like, I love this stuff, man. I love whether it's folks who are creating figures, obviously, but also creating dios, creating accessories and stuff like you're doing, or, even the toy photography. So I'm all about it because I think it only I think it totally enhances this project as like old people who, you were obviously collecting, or I guess I should say buying and enjoying toys long before I existed, or a couple years before I existed. And then you and I grew up buying toys, right? In fact, like earlier today, and the last couple of days since they revealed that Zap, we're all over the place. I'm already all over the place. But when they reveal that Zap for Classified, I totally I totally was like, because that was my very first real American hero figure. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And so I love that in 2025, it's like we don't just wait for Hasbro to do stuff. Like people are making their own stuff and adding to the conversation. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm really excited to do that. But of course, we're not the only ones here today. And I want to appreciate everybody who's joining us today. And then I will warn you, there are definitely people I told, hey, come on the show and pressure this guy. Like, talk to him, give him your ideas and give him your thoughts. And one of those guys is this guy. What's up, Josh Brown? Josh Brown Toys. Josh Brown of Josh Brown Custom, who will be at Legion's Con next Wednesday already. Next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, next week. I'm sorry, not this upcoming week, but the one after. Man, time flies. But he's going to be there selling his wares, and so I'll say it on here. He wants to like, hey, can we bring some of your stuff there? So my
answer is live in the chat. There you go. Yes, sir.
There you go. He answered you. So there you go. That's how it's done. What's up, Blake? Recon Rage. Happy Sunday to you too, man. This guy is you. And did you see that head that you're using there is coming in Black Series?
Yeah, I saw that, but everyone mistakes that for Quinlan Voss.
Is it not?
It's not. No, that's actually okay. So you're in the middle of saying hello to everybody, but do you want me to?
Yeah, it's all good. This is how it works. Right. It's chaos.
So that's a G.I. Joe Classified like custom Spirit figure. So I wanted to kind of like take Spirit Iron Knife out of his sort of like iconic Navajo like kind of, or no, he's not Navajo. He's from New Mexico, but okay, hold on that. And do something kind of like Spirit meets, I forget his name, but he had the guy from Predator, the Native American guy from Predator, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of do a crossover. So that's a Spirit head from the G.I. Joe Classified that I heated up the hair, pulled the hair off, and then I bought like on eBay, like a head of one of the Winter Soldier Bucky characters from Marvel Legends. And I pulled that hair off, painted it, and glued that onto that head, and then painted that stripe across there, kind of Native American war paint. And so that's what that is. And everyone asks me when I stare at that, like on the G.I. Joe Classified sites, like, whoa, where'd you get that Quinlan Voss head? It's not.
Yeah. It's that. Oh man, there's layers of cross-pollination in that one. But yes, Larry's Geeky World is here. Hey, and he's going to Legion's Con for the first time, and that's so awesome. This guy, Adam, was talking about your stuff earlier on his channel. He says, let's get lit. I love that. Even though, I love that. Mr. Ryan Clark is here as well. He had some very kind words that I'll share in a little bit because it sparked a funny conversation. Josh Brown is in fact already lit. E. McNeil is here. What's going on, man? Good to see you. See this one. This is what I'm talking about. The cooler brother. Absolutely. And I said that. The much cooler brother. And Blake says hello to you. Josh Brown has been trained by DK to acknowledge when we should be careful about unplanned white supremacy. And then this came up earlier. Did you both plan to synchronize your haircuts? I was looking at that as we were starting. I was like, oh yeah, I go this way and you go that way with
what? Am I mirrored? No, I'm not mirrored.
I was gonna say, no, you're not mirrored, but
so we both part. Well, no, I think
no.
In direction.
This is my right hand. Wait. We are mirrored. You know what? I bet you actually. Sorry, I'm realizing what's happening on the actual stream. Maybe it's on.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Whatever.
Mr.
Ryan Clark.
This is my right side right here.
Yeah, and this is my right side, but on my screen, it's mirrored.
Okay.
Anyways, you should see both Ted and my hair stories from childhood. There's some real fascinating, arguably effed up ones along the way. Charlie Squared is here. What's going on, man? Bob Morales, what's going on, man? The nicest guy in any chat. Always greeting folks. I love and appreciate it, man. Freaks Figures is here. Hello. See what I mean? Saying hello to all the folks. He knows what's up. Here you go. He just needed that. Ted needed some time. So let's see. Hey, this guy. What's up? Eric Miller. Good to see you, man. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope, yeah, because he works on a bunch of awesome stuff, but
I recognize the Figment tribute, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And he we saw his we were talking about his custom last year. Remember the Haunted Mansion, the candle guy?
Yeah, the wax man, the candle man. Yeah.
Deep.
Does he know your affinity for Figment, from starting in 1982?
I don't think he does, but yes, we went to Epcot Center as kids in 1982, and man, I loved my Figment stuffy. I still have them. Anyways, yes, I love him, and I'm still, I don't get up in arms about changes to Disney parks necessarily, but I am a little bit heartbroken at the state of that ride. But anyways, that whole park.
You should go call Chris Beatty.
I know. I was just going to say, tell Chris.
That's his territory, not mine anymore.
All right. Solo Sinner is here. And thank you, as always, man, for any of the super chats, any of the contributions, man. It's super supportive and it helps keep the lights on. Solo Sinner says, I understand this is where we place our pre-orders for LED-enabled wizard staves with glowing orbs. Appreciate your attention on this important matter. Man, that sounds almost presidential of you, Solo Sinner. Yes. I told him, come here and pressure. Because he's like, I need this. Yes.
That's a great idea. I like that. All right.
See? Yeah. He'll on advisory.
As soon as we're done here, I'm jumping into Blender, and here we go.
There you go. I feel like I'm looking at some Pokemon evolution. Is that because is that a comment on the brothers? There's different stages of evolution, or are you maybe talking about his monsters in the background? Because you've got some dope monsters in the back. Has he got a legendary barbarian?
No, that's
tentacles. Is that Conan?
That's Conan in there. Yeah, we'll bring him up later if you want, but he's amazing. No, this is my version of Legendary Barbarian. I've been actually, so guys, confession, I've been messing with Legendary Barbarian since the beginning of the show, and he's right here, and he's my cool. This is my version of him because I've tricked him out. But yeah,
he looks good.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at that stuff in a second. Rick Jones is here. What's going on, man? Ahoy, mateys. Gabriel, what's going on? The names have changed. YouTube keeps messing with stuff. But happy Sunday to you, sir. Hello. Hey, look at this guy. We still have a week and a half. Don't move up the timeline on me, Brick. Too much to do. So, man, can you imagine what he's doing right now? This guy is handling whatever is going to be revealed in a week and a half at G-Con. He's taking pictures of that. And I know I've heard him talk about it elsewhere. And, it's always down to the wire, and so he's snapping pictures. And so good luck to you on that. And thank you in advance. Cause I know, man.
So as a former design manager, Trevor, I have to ask, are you under pressure because things have to go to print, or is it just going to digital? Cause that changes everything.
Oh, probably not so much a print, right? Because they don't really.
I just put up on the screen during G-Con, probably.
Yeah, it changes everything, but then it gives certain people the excuse to lag because you don't have that earlier print deadline, right? So we could. Anyways, he knows, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to traumatize, but thank you on behalf. Oh, here you go. That's what it is. He's interviewing himself from the future. See, there you go. Some people think we look similar. What's up, Quip? My East Coast folks. Let's see. Here you go. Adam is saying, I didn't realize Figment was exclusively a Walt Disney World thing. I was bummed there was no Figment anywhere at Disneyland. Yep. That and what is that bear? That little the bear couple from overseas.
Duffy.
Yeah.
Duffy.
Those are all things that don't exist in Disneyland. Yeah,
they don't exist in Disneyland, except Duffy actually started at Epcot, and it flopped, and then
they went overseas.
My partners, from Tokyo Disney Resort, said, "Hey, we could do something with that bear," and then the rest is history. Now it's huge, and not just Tokyo, but huge in Hong Kong Disneyland and Shanghai Disneyland.
Yeah,
it's got don't know, there's like 7 of them now. Anyway,
yeah, that was weird. In Disney
Yeah.
Sea,
Yeah.
that like little, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk to you about Disney stuff, but anyways,
Yeah, you're allowed. It's okay.
Okay, it was weird. I wasn't a fan, but
It's not for everybody,
whatever.
but they're very dedicated fans. Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about Disney. Sorry, we were talking about the brother evolution. Got it. Spaded One is here. It's the brothers thing and trading the Legos for guitars. Oh, you're right. He's the mature, refined option.
Well, they can't see the rest of the room, dude. You've been in this room.
Well, I have, and I was actually talking to people about your Marvel Legends tastes and how like, I know you get excited whenever there's like classic comic stuff and just how hard it is to balance. Can you imagine being them? And you're like, okay, we need to please the old guys, the old comics, and the MCU people, and the comics from 2 years ago, and the comics now. It's so hard.
Yep.
Rick Jones is here to traumatize you, Trevor. Don't break those prototypes. I think I've gotten everybody. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I'm so sorry, man. It's all going very wrong right at the moment. Oh, well, good luck, man. Good luck to you.
You know what, though, Trevor? Your wrong is probably more right than most, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure no one will notice that the dragon has no head. And then Larry loves your guitars. Okay. So really, I know I want to talk to you about imaginary action, but first, since you brought it up, because I want to know, I haven't seen everything behind you. What's the recent stuff? What's the stuffed creatures you got behind you? I know you got Shumagorath, and yes, because these are not things that I got.
Because this guy, if you haven't seen the billion reviews of this guy yet online, he's amazing. He's part of what? He's part of like, I think the Conan-verse, right? But then he was in that video game that Capcom and versus Marvel. But you guys, bendy arms and then the eye that moves. Look at that. Come on. So you can give you like the the big surprise eye. Now we're gonna be looking at Conan. So he's a recent arrival. We don't pick up.
And I remember Ted actually told me when he was getting that, he's like, this guy's totally gonna be fighting Conan. And there he is. He's fighting Conan. This guy. Oh,
look at this, huh?
Damn.
1991 version.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's great. All articulate. Look at both. So
many sections. Yeah, look how many sections on the neck and the tail. This is Haya, right?
It's and even the legs. Mety Toyz, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, Haya's stuff is fantastic.
Which you know what? Is it Haya like Haya, how you doing, or is it like Haya?
Haya? I don't know.
That's
racist.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's
cool.
Yeah, I got that.
And you have a couple of Haya. Like, do you have a Gojira and do you have that?
I have one of the movie, the more recent movie ones, but he's at the office. But what's arriving, like what's all in pre-order now, they decided to like do a bunch of like the Heisei, Godzilla Heisei era, Showa area. So I've got a bunch of like the kind of 70s, 90s era Godzilla's coming. They just haven't been released yet, but they're on the way. Yeah.
And then what'd you do to your Legendary Barbarian?
Oh, so my Legendary Barbarian, after picking up a couple other things, I think I took this. Did he come with this loincloth? I don't even remember. I think who was in that 2-pack from Legion's Con last year for Mythic? It was Gaspar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like, I think I got like this belt thing or something from Gaspar because he came with a more armored one, which to me, texture-wise, again, sorry to get all, work or art school and everybody here, but texture-wise, Barbarians, like their material language is leather and cloth and metal, right?
Yep.
And so I get, because he comes with that alternate head that's a helmed head, and you got the metal kind of armored piece that he came with. Like, I get that. But like, I guess in my head is like, he's all about the more organic kind of materials. Mm-hmm. But then we got these awesome bracer things that we were talking about that came with one of the recent skeleton soldiers.
I want to say it was the Raider, maybe.
It was a skeleton Raider. And he comes with these. I'm like, I thought those. And I go, man, those would be awesome on on Legendary Barbarian. So yeah, they look great on him. So yeah, he's a cool little package.
He looks really cool. He's actually super Conan coded. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic. This is one of the best they've done in a long time. There's so much they can do with him, which, you know, let's talk
I
about
love that you talk about your art school / design language, because actually that informs so much of what you're doing with imaginary action, I know. So let's go ahead and get to that. But let's really quickly say hello to Jim Largo. Been a while, man. Good to see you. Thank you for hopping in. And then Trevor did answer you. It's all digital right now, but it's the prototype thing, man. Because you imagine, like, they don't stay together, but he has to, and he has to take pictures of it and make it sort of like try and hold a pose or do something. So I can't even imagine.
It's gonna be great. I'm sure it's gonna
let's take some time to do some predicting later about what might be coming. If folks don't know, neither Ted nor I will unfortunately be at Legions Con this year, but last year he and I got to go. So we'll circle back to that later, because that was awesome. So and see, there you go. Largo, here he hadn't thought about fantasy themes in terms of materials, leather, earth and tones, etc. So very cool. And thank you, sir. I don't know why we both ended up with the button ups today. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about this dude, Ted. Let's move us over here and let's show this. Okay, so this is your sort of personal IG, and it always has been. So you're Julius Downey. You use that across a bunch of sites. Was that started as his tank, right? For your Joe stuff, G.I. Joe stuff?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But then you started using the imaginary action moniker a while back. And, you know, you and I had been talking, and I know that you had this thought of eventually doing something with the name and creating stuff. I love, even though this is wholly unaffiliated with your job or whatever, but there's still the notion of the imagination, imaginary stuff going on, intentional or not. So I like that. But also, so I'll skip this stuff for now. But if folks don't know, I've talked about it before. He's a big collector. I got to spend some time at his place recently. Unfortunately, it was for a funeral, but I got to stay in the room with all the toys. And so the room that Ted's in, and man, to his left and in front of him and behind him, it's just like the best Marvel Legends collection displays, G.I. Joe classified, and now a crap ton of Horsemen. Cause like a couple years ago, like there was no 4 Horsemen figs. And now it's like kind of all
I basically went from 0 to 100 miles an hour in like 3 seconds when it comes to 4 Horsemen. So
yeah. And we've shared before, like these are scratch built stuff that he did. This was one of his first big project, which was creating this sort of like what he calls the Vamp Mark. What'd you call it? 4 or 5? 6.
Yeah.
Because you
were
counting.
If you care, the reason I call it 6.
I know. Go nerd, go.
Boy, they just kept adding more. So they didn't do a 6.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And favorite customizing. These are all customized figs. So obviously this guy is fully customized, but you actually added a crap ton of paint and stuff going on with these guys too. And so that's kind of, yes. And so that's been the thing you've been doing that we've talked about here before. This was a gift that he made for me, and it just like brings that sculpt life. But anyway, then you obviously here's the Horseman stuff and the Legion stuff. You're also a collector. You know, you've not discovered, but I guess you've kind of really gone deep in Mezco too.
Yeah, I'm not 0 to 100 with like I am with Horseman, but I'm like 0 to 60 now with with Mezco.
You did start doing some imaginary action product, things that you were thinking about, like what could I use on my shelf? And then, you know, we've talked about toy photography, and you thought about like what could folks use, what are people making, and you know, how could I I love what they're doing, but how can I sort of expand and contribute to it? And so now some of what's on your channel, or sorry, on your YouTube, what is this thing called? Instagram. Yeah. in the last week and a half, you started posting these where these are your figures, your collection on your personal page, but with your product. So right there's an example of something that he has developed. You said, is it brazier?
No, these are I couldn't come up.
Oh no,
with
these
a
are tall. These are tall candelabras,
candles.
basically.
Yeah. Or like actually, I thought they were called candelabras too, but technically they're not candelabras either. Candelabras are the ones that have the individual arms that hold the things. These are just some. This is just some made up stuff. I call them on the website. Oh God, what do I call them? Candle stands, something like that. Yeah,
fair enough.
Like
but they're all in video too. What I like about the video is it kind of does show the sort of effect of the light and a little bit of a flicker on the candles and stuff, and the glow. So these are right next to different figures to kind of show scale. And as we'll get into, it's not just scale, because I know how Ted's brain thinks, and I see it too. If you look at the style of the accessory, the sort of like design language behind this torch, it actually is, I guess, of the culture of the character holding him, right? It's very dwarven. Am I right in naming it that way?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I call it. That's what I refer to. It's funny in my like my organizational sort of system, I refer to things dwarven as mountain, but yeah, dwarven's good enough.
Yeah. So I see that. A great figure. I know you love this figure too. Man, it's such a great dwarf.
Amazing figure.
But back to here, if y'all didn't catch that, I wish I could pause but the style on this one too might be something, the sort of design language on this candle hold or whatever it is very elven.
Yep. Or forest.
Why are you such a nerd? No, I love it. I love it. Like the design nerdiness creeping in with the the nerdiness. This is cool too. The Mezco Nosferatu, again, showing off the scale too, which I really love. And I hope that people are turned on by this, because I think this is so cool. Like that Nosferatu needs to be next to these like creepy candles.
Honestly, I think half of the reason I'm doing, well, probably more than half the reason I'm doing this and making these things is literally just is to like, I use this word in my marketing speak of the website, but literally enhance my own playtime. This is because, I buy these amazing figures. We buy these amazing figures.
Yeah.
And we can't help. I mean, this is just like when we were kids, right? It's just like, man, that first set of Star Wars figures came out in '78. I was like, oh my God, I wish they would come out with a X-Wing fighter, and I wish they would come out with a TIE fighter. And like, then they did, and it's just like here with these guys, these amazing figures, like by whomever, Four Horsemen or Mezco or whatever. I want to, like, again, find things to build that world out. It's world building, right? That's essentially what, not just me, but everybody else who's making stuff out there, we're world building with these things.
Yep.
So,
and we'll get into the product, but I think these shots are definitely a great place to kind of show off some of the stuff that people are having questions about. So let's go ahead and jump in to some of those. But first, hey, what's up, Steph? Always great to see you. And I love the new thumbnail. That eyeball's cool. So Larry was asking, how bright will these get? And then I want to back that up with Ryan, who followed up right after, saying, hey, is that dwarf purely lit by the torch? If so, amazing. Kind of addressing sort of the brightness. Can you speak to both of those things?
Yes. So the answer is there was, okay. So full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a proper photo studio, and I just look for every corner of the house that can, do the job of what I needed to do. That background right there is not a starry sky. That is one of our cutting boards. And so, and that was taken in one of our bathrooms because it had the smallest window, and our window in there's this tiny little window that faces west. So it was like, early in the day where there wasn't a lot of sun. So yeah, it's mostly lit by this little torch. I can show it to you right here. But so each one of these torches, you see here comes this little guy right here, right?
Slowly, StreamYard, so slow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see this?
Yep.
All right. And so it's a little LED powered light, and you just sort of twist it to turn little batteries on, and it's pretty damn bright. I mean, I mean, again, you know, what you see on screen is probably all blown out by just, you know, the light sensitivity of the camera. It's not as white in screen as, or in real life, it's more orange in my hand. But all of these torches, right, they have this little guy in them. And so here, as an example, here's another style of just one of these torches on, and they just kind of drop in to the little, this is one of my other torches. You just kind of drop it in, held by gravity. That's it. There he is.
So you design the torch in that case, in the case of that torch, in Blender. You're printing it out now, and you're doing the painting. And then, so as far as that light fixture, can you give a sense of like how? So there's no wire, all that. Like, can you break those down?
No, so like I'll break it down right now. I got these on Amazon. They're these little tiny little LED lights. See, there's a little diode.
All the secrets. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
And then this guy is just 3D printed in like a translucent filament. So, I mean, like, I don't want to assume, you know, especially in my job, we make too many assumptions. Everybody knows our stupid acronyms and stuff. But for those of you who don't know, filament is just basically the spool of like plastic wire, if you will, that feeds into a 3D printer that the printer melts and it turns into stuff. So they have stuff that's opaque that you can't see through and stuff that's sort of semi-opaque like this. So I thought this would be the perfect thing to kind of, you know, let the light pass through just enough, but give you some color. Right now you're seeing it like in the photo and in my hand, it's like almost like white hot, but in reality, like looking at it with the human eye, it's more orange, bright orange. It's not like that. So
love that. And to maybe get a little bit more complicated, since again, I'll just show these for now.
I have all of those,
and then we'll get to the other ones. But so this one is different, right? These are obviously candles, so it's not a big gigantic flame. Maybe don't go into necessarily the construction of these just yet, but like how would you describe the brightness, I guess, compared to?
So I would say, like, to get their full effect, and really in reality, like how much would a candle flame in real life really light up a room, right? So it's you know, it takes a whole ton of them in a Catholic cathedral to light up that place, right? But like when you're just talking that many, so these I wouldn't say there's. I'll hold one up right now. The one that you had, the more kind of elven one.
Okay, sure.
So like I'll turn it on, but like there's the screen light that's coming my way, so it's probably you're not going to see it, so it's on right now.
Right.
So you can kind of see it.
Right? Yeah, no, we can see it.
Okay, so let me turn it off so you can just kind of get like a point of reference as to some level of brightness. So this is it off, and this is it on. But
and can you show people that there's no wires and show them kind of what's at the base?
Yeah. Oh, it's there. It's there. It's it's like I think a 30, 20, like whatever watt battery you use in your key fobs or whatever. So there it is.
And the top part that you're that's all like it's all connected. It's no like not like the flame. You don't take it off. That's all like glued together and everything.
No, it's all one. It's one solid thing. I mean, I wanted to just dumb it down as far as like, you know, it's still a toy, right? We got to be careful with our toys. Yeah. But I didn't want it to be like so fragile that like delicate and all this kind of thing, you know. But you know, this obviously, if I'm, you know, go back to this guy for a minute, like this flame, you know, most of the stuff is meant for display, you know, but like it stays in there through gravity. But if I turn it upside down, is it gonna? Yes, it's gonna fall out. But no one's gonna do that, you know. There it is, just.
Looks great in the hands of a Savage Crucible too.
Oh yeah,
that's Warrior with ball and chain, yeah.
It is, and today he's Warrior with torch. Yeah,
but I'm ashamed to say that I haven't played much with him yet.
He is great. These Savage Crucible guys, man, just
love them.
Fantastic. I don't like their feet, but I like the rest of them.
All right, so let's check in with the chat so far. So Josh Brown, now that he sort of saw you handle that other one, he's like, oh, those are the same lights that his buddy used on the wizard table. They're very bright. Larry's liking what he's seeing. So does Steph. Light can be her worst enemy. I don't know if you're talking in photography or because you are light sensitive vampire, or maybe both. But it lights the focal point perfectly, maybe referring to this. So in this, particularly Nosferatu, there's a little bit of other light, or is that all the candles?
It's a tiny bit. Again, it's through that little window. And I literally hung up a towel just to kind of block it out a little bit. But for those of you who like whatever know anything about photography, right? And whether you're using a phone or whether you're using an actual DSLR or full frame digital, or I shoot micro four thirds, it's kind of like the sensor, right, which is essentially the thing that like grabs the image. It's gonna, especially these phones are so good right now, it's gonna want to try and like, change its sensitivity and try and brighten up what's coming into the camera versus what you can see in real life. So I will say it didn't look this bright to me, like through my own eyes, but it's the camera kind of like picking up as much as it can, you know what I mean, to kind of like pick up whatever it can of the darkness. And to be honest, I was just using my little cell phone here, so you can't really change like ISO settings or shutter speeds and things like that to to kind of get like something that's truer to life. And that was actually, on the website, when I was trying to capture that through with photography, I was using my quote unquote real camera, and it's a weird balance, right? Because you've got the light, you want to light up the product, if you will, enough to see this stuff. But then if you light that up too much, you start to drown out the light of this guy. So it's just a matter of finding like, the right ISO or the right, even the right, aperture. Well, apertures just keep it wide, but like the shutter speed time really is what you're kind of dealing with to kind of say like, yeah, that thing's lit enough to see, I can see it's lit, but I can still see the rest of the product. That was really challenging. Then some of the more moody photos on the website, I just went full, like, just to get the drama out there in the flame. Like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I like this one as well. So again, Faunus, is that his name? Yeah, Faunus. Yeah. You picked this up at Legion's Con last year, right?
Well, I picked it up at Intern for a Day. Yeah. Awesome.
So folks are saying, Alchemists, what's up, Alchemist 1011? These are great. I need some torches and candles for photography. Well done, sir. Steph again is saying, incredible invention. It's well executed. Let's definitely talk a little bit later as we go through the different specific products you have available, like some of the, whatever you want to share in terms of how you're constructing these things. Cause I love it. I love it. I love it.
Share it all.
These look super rad. Oops, says Charlie Squared. I forget if I already showed that. And then Larry definitely wants to grab some of these after Legion's gone. No, I totally get that, because people are like already like, heading over there and have plans to spend.
Priorities.
Priorities. Trevor, right. Man, can you imagine seeing this in Trevor's photos? He says, they're really great, Ted. I can't wait to get to use them. I think that's so amazing because like he will definitely understand the design language of these, right?
I would be so stoked. Yeah. We can talk about the design language too.
Okay. So yeah, let's definitely do that. Let me go ahead and you do have suggestions too. And I'll save some of those towards the end, but keep those coming. I'm not ignoring them, but maybe at the end, let's go through and kind of talk about some of the fun ideas that people have. It'd be really cool because people have some really great ideas.
Okay.
What's that?
I'm reading one of the comments. Let's see. It's from Ryan Clark. May I suggest a spotlight with a bat sheet?
Sure, that's what I was saying. But yes, well, I actually really, really like that idea too. Okay, but first let's get situated. So this is Ted's personal thing, and that's where you can probably see a lot of the sort of like him just playing with his own stuff, playing with his own products, with his own toys to kind of get a sense of what that's like. And then over on Imaginary Action Studios, which you launched a little bit ago, a week and a half ago or so. So this is like meant to be where the quote unquote studios, the people, your hat of the company will be. So this is more like official product stuff, right? Where you announce the launch and stuff. So this shows some of the product right here. I love these. I posted a little thing about them because I think they're so cool. And props to you on the product photography as well. The colors, actually, even before then, because you know me, this is my my little area that I loved doing when I was doing it more professionally is the branding and the logo stuff. And so can you share a little bit about the thought process around that logo? Because man, that
well,
logo
okay,
it
so
hits.
for those of you who don't know, Brick has a graphic design background, studied it, has been doing it even before he started studying it. I could probably say the same. Our dad brought home in 82 or 83. We were one of the guinea pigs for the first Apple Macintosh computer, and they had these, all these great programs. I don't know if they're called anymore, like for playing with typography.
Mac Paint.
The Mac Paint.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was all the basics of it. And then we didn't really even get like font, the typography one. But yes,
right. But yeah. So I have always been a fan of graphics, as you know, and we know, whether we're talking album covers or like television logos. My brain goes there. And when I started this brand, let's just call it what it is. It's a brand. I really started to think, probably too much, but that's okay, of like why I still collect toys and why I've never in some ways stopped. I mean, there have been lulls in my toy buying. And then, for the past, I don't know, 10 years, it just kind of exploded again. And I think what it is just, I think I realized it's like these are a big toys, and that toy experience is a big part of what makes me who I am today. For those of you who don't know who I am today, my day job is I work for Disney. I work in the theme park design part of it all. And I realized along the way that, so much of what I kind of, and I'll just say it, learned from playing with toys, right? And then watching the cartoons and watching the movies or this and that all kind of comes to play in my job, sometimes directly or sometimes indirectly, right? So these toys, I didn't really realize it. Like I used that phrase world building earlier. It's like that's kind of like what my team of folks and my coworkers we do all day is we world build. And I realized like, this is gonna sound silly, but I owe a lot to toys, right? And some of my favorite toy brands growing up were obviously Kenner with Star Wars and Fisher-Price, right? And so we're talking like around that 70s-ish era for me. And, there was a lot of of logos had those little serif, like fun serif fonts. If you don't know what a serif is, it's those little extra bits on the ends of each one of these little letters there. And so I wanted to do a little homage to like Fisher-Price and Kenner, but do it in my own way, because like that's kind of like where that's sort of the origins of like the toys that I fell in love with, Yeah. And so with that, I just kind of said, well, I'm making all this stuff, and I'm inherently a curious person, and I like to learn how to do things. And I happen to work the whole model building thing, making that car. I've worked for years with professional model makers at work who just build this stuff around me, and I just sit there and watch them. Go, well, dude, that's awesome. And while they're making stuff for one of my projects, but I'm here wishing like, can I get my hands dirty and start cutting stuff with you and paint? And it was like, But so I guess that I wanted to scratch that itch. And so that's how I kind of got into doing it on my own for my own stuff. And then, of course, I'm working with all these really talented people who are sculpting and doing things and even like, modeling in 3D. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. I wonder how I could do that. And so that coupled with getting back into the toys, and you and I, wax poetically about this, of just the state of the toy industry and the state of just like how good they are these days. They're ridiculously good. And I mean, we talk about context all the time, but like, guys, trust me. It's like for those of us who are like complaining about like, this and that, and the articulation, this, that, you're right. But like, dude, I'm coming from like Fisher-Price adventure people that had
like
5 points of articulation. Right. And like the original Star Wars figures, like just dots for eyes. And like, oh my God, here we are now with this. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is like a shrunken down version of things like you see at like theme parks, right? Like at Disneyland or something like that. But it's like, it's to that level of detail now. And so I wanted to kind of say, I wonder if I could kind of complement that, because I'm seeing, amazing guys like, Carver Customs and who's the other gentleman? You've had him on your show maybe once or twice, and he did the most recent thing he did was the boat. Help me out here.
Detour, Seth Delator.
Detour. You see if it's even Delator, right? And those things are like,
Yep,
wow,
yep,
that's
yep.
really, really great. You know what I mean? That looks like a lot of fun. And I'm
Yep.
always looking for an excuse, you know, to buy more toys. In this case, like machines and things. I was like, I'm gonna get a 3D printer and start doing stuff. And so but like it's kind of like, you know, your sister-in-law, my wife, Natalie, it's like, you know, when I was big into like the whole cycling thing, and I still am, but I said, you know what, I don't have a triathlon bike. I'd really like a triathlon bike. And so the only way I could justify is like, shit, I better start doing triathlon so I could say, see, I need a triathlon bike now.
Sure.
So I was like, I want to start making stuff. So I need a 3D printer now so I can make this thing. So yeah. So I started learning Blender like just, you know, around Christmas time last year, and just went at it, looked at all the tutorials on YouTube, but I can't help but kind of inject like, you know, part of my own process with, you know, whether it's work stuff or whatever. And I wanted to kind of put things into, you know, to a level of storytelling, right, that kind of spoke to either characters or whatever, you know, families or factions or races within this mythic world, or even, it's not even, when I say mythic, I don't mean just Four Horsemen stuff. I mean genres, right? Horror genres. So you mentioned like that one right there that you got there with, by the way, the bear character, that's Cal the Man Bear. And so Cal the Man Bear is my company spirit animal.
California. Yeah, totally. I love it.
So there is a whole collection of like, I said, you know, I want to like, and of course, look, I'm not going to lie. I looked at like even how legions, mythic legions sort of has their factions, even though their factions are not based on races and things like that, but they have vampires, they have orcs, they have elves, right? There's definitely sort of like groups of species, races, whatever you want to call them, that exist. They have humans, barbarians. They have humans that are more knights, guys that you could think would be hanging out in citadels and castles versus guys out in the forest wearing fur, you know, that type of thing. So I started thinking about,
not
like,
just guys, dude, not just guys.
You're right, and gals, because I'm waiting for that one that's coming with my bear.
Neve. Yeah.
Yes. So I said, well, could I create like a line of things that kind of like belong to like that genre or that family? Right. Oh, thank you. Bear Sculpt by
Moai. Yeah.
Moai. Thank you. Because when I bought that on eBay, of course, there's no credits to anything on there. So Moai, thank you for this amazing sculpt. And I bought all 3 gestures, by the way, of those heads. So this is kind of an elven kind of gesture. You know, I call it, you know, kind of a foreign, you know, and if you look at some of those details, it's kind of like, again, like elements that elves would celebrate, right? They live in the forest. They have a connection to nature. So more organic leaf shapes and bulbs and, you know, things of that nature.
Teeth.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, maybe I should bring this up here. So yeah, you can kind of see, this is the one you're talking about with the leaves and the very gilded too. It's very delicate and fanciful, which I do tend to associate with elves, you know, as Tolkien and a bunch of other people, including the Horsemen, have taught me.
Well, and you can, and so that I said, you know, whether we're talking about when you're buying your line of furniture for your living room and you bought the set or whatever, I thought like, okay, well, here's another thing that I wanted to get into. I got into this late because I think it was you. It was like, dude, where are the braziers? I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I should do those too. And so whatever, like I did this a month ago or whatever. So here is the sort of like the complement to that elven candle stand or whatever you call it. And so I made a brazier that's sort of like that elven style as well, right? So that just they could pair, right? If you wanted to kind of set this up, if you were so daring, and there's a lot of talented people out there.
The Elven Collection, now available at
exactly.
Action.
Right. And there's a torch that goes with it that's not presently here, but you saw the torch earlier that Faunus was saying. It kind of has the same kind of curvilinear language, vines and leaves and all those types of things, right? It's like, yeah. So, but
oh wait, no, this is not. That's not this one, right?
That's it. That's the one.
This is
right?
it. Oh, okay.
That's it. Right. So each one of them has like, again, the little dot, you know, I think of like, oh, well, it's seeds, you know what I mean? And things like that. They're all kind of present. So that's why if you look at the two, there's they relate to each other. Right.
Let me see if I'll get it a little bit bigger. Yeah. Oh, I see the connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same design elements of that little sort of jewel or whatever that thing's meant to be.
Well, like, and I'm not gonna lie. Look, you know how everybody, including Four Horsemen, everybody else, like reuses like elements and parts. I mean, these are like there's consistent elements across the board here. Which, if you guys have ever made anything, for those of you who have ever messed around in 3D programs, it's like the fact that I can reuse it. It's great for style and story reasons, but it's also like less time. I build it once, I can reuse it again. Right? I don't have to keep.
So, like, if I press one of those things, does it like open a trap door? Or if I wiggle the candle a certain way?
That's for you and your imagination to determine.
Yeah, I love that. You do that and it opens up the wall XD or the Mythic XD castle walls and stuff. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Steph, Create Girl is saying has a Baroque style of art that I appreciate. Mr. Ryan Clark is saying those are so cool. The details are great. I'll get to the other ideas, and we'll address those at the end. But yeah, this is cool, man. I really love this. You know this. You've heard me say that. Yes, very elegant. Very. So this is the sort of elven end, and the colors too. They're kind of using. You decided more goldish, I guess.
Golds and bronzes and things like
bronzes.
That.
Yeah.
And okay. Well, go ahead.
Let me actually move. So this is that, and then let me close your. Sorry, I had to show the imaginary thing. I think it's great. By the way, when I quickly looked up that I put Ted Robledo Imaginary. Do you realize you have like a Marvel on the Marvel fandom wiki thing entry there?
No, for what?
Yeah,
for
so
Man?
Cool. Yeah, for Iron Man. I thought that was cool. I'm jealous. I said, the much cooler brother. In fact, here, let me.
I don't even know that. Oh, it's because of Hong Kong, right?
Yeah. Because of Hong Kong. Here, let me show this. This came up earlier today on Adam Highly Articulated stream. This is a screenshot from there, him talking about it, and so. Yeah, man. He gets cooler every minute. I think it's because I was sharing that you are, you're really into the comic stuff, and there's a couple of us, old people out there who love the comic stuff too. But yeah, it was actually really cool in that stream to hear Adam sort of talking about you and your work. Oh, this is 2 ahead. But yeah, it was really cool to hear that and folks kind of respond to it. And so I'm hoping, as folks hear more about it, that they might be interested because, starting yesterday, what time did it launch yesterday, the website?
Oh, it launched like at 12:01 a.m. or something.
So as of midnight yesterday, Pacific time, this thing has been live. It's at imaginaryaction.com. And so I know you've been working on this for a while now, and then having to then think about not just the art stuff, the design stuff, but everything from like prices and all of that, pricing and shipment and stuff. Is there anything you want to just kind of get out there in terms of like, I just noticed this, that's why it triggered like the free shipping, and like, what are your thoughts on sort of like pricing and whatever? Is there anything that you want to share?
Yeah, no, I'll talk about that. But so I thought about this. It's like, I've got a day job. I'm not trying to, and I know I'm not, if I'm trying to pay the mortgage with this hobby, then we're going to be homeless real fast. But honestly, it's like when I started making things like for myself, I realized like, you know what, this is a really healthy thing for me to be doing. Right. And I think a long time ago, even when I started working in the industry, I realized like I can't rely on whomever I'm working for. Now I've been back at Disney since 2007. I had another stint at Disney, another division, and then Imagine went away, did the web thing like you did, and worked for other places like Sony Pictures and all that kind of stuff. But I realized like I can't rely on like whoever my employer is, even if it's in a creative field, to kind of let me exercise my creative muscles, right? Because I'm not making stuff for myself there. I'm doing it at the will of the company, whomever that might be, and I'm making great stuff for them, for our customers, our guests, whatever. But I still think it's a healthy thing for me to be doing this something for myself, and so that's when I started getting into this. And so where I'm going at with this with pricing things, I think I'm trying to like be price sensitive and trying to like look, I'm trying to be as cost effective as possible. I'm actually like trying to think in my own head from my own perspective. If I didn't know what things cost and my labor, I'm really not getting paid for my labor, to be honest, a little bit. I mean, you know,
Sure.
but I'm trying to keep things, again, just I want things to be accessible. I don't want these to be luxury items. I want them to try and, you know, I can't give them away for free either, but I want to try and make them as accessible to as many people as much as possible, because again, I'm having fun making them. And I'm also, my other plan was, and we talked about this too, is like, would I do a Kickstarter, take pre-orders? And I was like, no, you know what? I don't want to do that, because I'm just going to make what I make and sell what I have.
Sure.
Because I don't want to like take money ahead of time. And this isn't me criticizing others. It's just like, I've got a day job and I don't want to be responsible. You know, things happen. I have sometimes, you know me, I'm on these business trips like at least 6 times a year, sometimes 12. So I don't want to be holding on to, you know, people's, you know, money and making promises that I can't make. So I'm just going to make as I go and sell, you know, what I have. And again, not get rich from it, but I mean, you know, at least, you know, try and keep it somewhere that I think it's at an accessible price point. And, you know, if I'm spending hours on end painting these things, you know, I'm trying to do things in a assembly line manner, right? I'll prime them all, you know, print them all, then I'll prime them all, and then I'll hit them with their all base coat color, go through all of 30 of them, and then go hit the highlights of them, and then, you know, clear coat them all. So I'm trying to be as smart as I can. I think I have no basis as to kind of like, is that a fair price or not? I'm just kind of basing it on like, okay, the time, material, I bought a 3D printer.
Sure.
I bought this, you know. Yeah. So that's kind of what
that makes sense. And again, we should get into construction, but before we do that, I popped into the torches section, and I was reminded about the names. It's like IKEA naming.
It's IKEA.
Like, it's IKEA, but like in Middle Earth or something, right? So it's like, oh, and I love it. Cornell torch. Torch. So can you clue us in? So was I think I was right on with this. This is more of the under the mountain, mining dwarven kind of thing, right?
And there's a narrative that goes with that. I took the time to do some writing. So if you click on that in the description, there's a full like narrative and the origin of this thing. It's so silly, but just fun. I'm having fun, you know.
I love it.
The ancient and guarded misty mountain mines of the dwarf kings, the Bormland torchlights, cavern dwellings, and mines in the heart of the mountain.
I love it. You nerd. Oh God. Named after the legendary dwarf king. Oh, the old legendary dwarf.
No.
Okay, got it.
Bormland. Come on.
Yeah. Bormland. Got it. I love it. And then you break down the specifics of it, and you for listing out measurements like this. Man, that's one of my gripes sometimes with whether it's toy accessories or even toys, or even sharing like who this fits with. Because, you know, I love like when D Amazing puts figures up next to each other, because that helps me like visually. So I appreciate all that. And then you got the different photos with, what is it? Cal the
man bear.
So for LA, all the folks that we grew up with those car commercials, right? If you
go see Cal.
If you need a car or truck, go see Cal. Like Better Call Saul. So it was Cal Worthington and his dog Spot, right? So I love that. I feel like when we were talking, I gave you some ideas for this, but I'm trying to remember. I'm not necessarily trying to get credit, but I'm trying to remember.
No. You gave me the idea. You gave me the idea of well, I was hesitant at first, right? Because I didn't want to like step on Horseman or any of those kind of guys. Like, you guys are using my product, and so I didn't. I took inspiration from Darius, the Amazing, and he has his character, his Ichigo character, which I think is like a Mezco with a little custom cat head on top of it. You know?
Yes, it's his cat. That's actually his cat. I think is no longer with us.
Credit where credit's due. That's where I stole that idea from.
That makes sense.
You convinced me to do this because it made sense. It's like people need to know, give it context, how big this thing is.
Right.
And you would recognize there's enough things here that people recognize as like, okay, those are Mythic Legions parts, but I just didn't want to be a total like, you know, I didn't want to just take a stock Mythic Legions character
Sure.
like that kind of thing. But
Well,
that's
and I love it. And as Josh has sort of shared, like the head sculpt is a custom by Moai. Like just tying all that stuff together, I think is awesome. And the styling is cool. And the California and California Bears, all that. I love it. So this is cool. Okay. So this is the IKEA, the different collection. So this is again from the Dwarven sort of collection. You got the Bormerlin torch. Available in Bay E12, I believe, down in the end of Imaginary Action. Frederick tell me about this one. What's this sort of? This is meant for like. Oh no, is this humans? Skeleton?
Yeah. Well, okay. So there is. So you know, I've had a hand in like, you know, this you know these Disney guys. They do a lot of castles and things.
Yep.
So I've done a few castles. Well, no, I've done a couple castles. But you know, there's this language that, for those of you who don't know what you know what we do, you know, at Walt Disney Imagineering, we do a lot of homework, we do a lot of research, and so I'm lucky enough to like for someone to pay me to do this research because I get educated, and I start to get up to materials and see things in real life, whether it's going there and seeing the thing or seeing it being fabricated. And I wanted to bring a logic to what I'm building here because I can't help but like come at it from like if I were to build this in real life, which I've supervised the building of these things, or I've designed these things to look as if they could be built, whether that's built in that time period or built by just physics, they would work. So rivets where they would work, you know, support rings. So the whole castle medieval,
I see,
kind of language, you know, that's kind of a thing that kind of crosses, you know, goes across all kinds of these toys and genres, right? It could work in, you know, Mythic Legions. It could work for Savage Crucible. You name it. And or you know, I plan on using this with my Mezco Indiana Jones, right?
Oh, yeah,
because he could be like in some medieval castle and he can grab whatever he sees near him and light this thing up. So
to inspect the tapestries,
that's the tapestries. So yeah. But then I wanted to continue that, you know, with other language. And like for these, we talked about the Elven one over there to the left, but to the right, I thought, well, I wanted to branch out, and I thought here, I got that one right here. I thought of the orcs, right? And like, you know, after they eat the humans, what would they do with the other bits? So they recycle it. I think
Smart.
So that's part of the N.E.W.S. So like, yeah. So why wouldn't like orcs have, you know, torches to go with it?
Love that.
I gotta say, I had a real hard time finding the right scale for these skulls, and I will say, while they work for some characters, they don't work for others. Like, Mythic Legions, if you look at
the size heads,
because like the skeleton, this matches like 90% of the heads of like the Mythic Legion size skulls. But if you put it up against like the head of like, I don't know,
Savage Crucible,
or even like Ortho over here, it's like it's bigger than his head.
Oh,
right?
sure.
So
sure.
But you know, it's 3D printing. I could come up with I think I said that in the website. I said that this is for the large size. So one day I'll come up with a smaller scale that'll work with Savage Crucible or whatnot.
That's where you have to kind of turn off your penchant of trying to make it like actually realistic. And you know, I get that, but it's rough with these figures sometimes.
Yeah.
And real quick, Mr. Ryan Clark is winning today. Because that's a double reference there. I love the layered references going on.
You are Scottish Lord. Oh, no, that was the German guy. If you're a Scottish Lord, then I am Mickey Mouse.
Yes. And by the way, Trevor says the prices are very fair, and he knows because I know he's looking at this stuff. Chris Bouchard is here saying hello to both of us. As far as Cal goes, you know, some commentary here about his he's a bear, man. He don't need to defend nothing. But yes, he's like.
All right. So there's a really lame reason why he's wearing that. Really lame. Okay. Because you saw him originally.
We're talking about this.
Yes. You saw him with just the pants on. And it was like this little bunchy waistband thing. And it looked really ugly.
Yes.
And so then I went through like my bin of like Mythic Legion parts. Like, oh, that'll work. It's gold. That works.
Yeah.
And so there it is.
So Trevor was saying the prices are fair, and then Josh Brown shared, and I appreciate this. Thought, yeah, some would say too fair considering the paint. So you're printing it, you're constructing it, which we haven't even gotten into, but like the the R&D work that Ted had to do on some of this stuff is really like was the funnest part for me to sort of hear about and learn about. And that's where I really feel like some of your Imagineering experience, like a lot of that's problem solving, right? Engineering stuff. And some of it's like, you get those moments where you're like, oh yeah, it's actually a lot simpler than I thought, but clever, right? Like, you know, kind of the whole like Pepper's ghost use or whatever. You're just like, oh, is that all it is? But a lot of that stuff I feel like is coming into play with the way you've been putting this together. Hey, No Chewing is here. What's going on, man? And this guy's, again, two awesome folks who love toy stuff, but they've, you know, that they know their way around a toy photograph too. So they should definitely be checking this out. What's up, man? We're both bummed we won't be seeing you guys again like we did last year. Nick Dillinger with that Zoom. Do you feel like she might be intrigued by Cal? What's up, Nick? Good to see you. All right. So what are we talking about? We were talking about the paint. Thank you. Yes, Josh, I agree. There's actually a lot of work that goes into this. And I've also sort of loved how you and your helpers been sort of putting this. And by helpers, I mean his left hand, his right hand, his brain. And it's all him. Yes, he is the factory. Real quick, let's finish this off though. So this was like the human sort of, if we're thinking about it in those terms. Right. This is the Elven one, which you've kind of established. Yep. And you don't follow this way, but this is what was inspiring it. You said this was the orc thing, which I love. And I love that you ended up, I know this was one of the last ones in development, but I'm really glad that you ended up with something a little bit more on the organic side, because these are very like structured, inorganic, architectural. And then this one, I freaking love. Who's this for?
So
besides Satan himself.
So yes, it could be Satan. It could be vampire. I love, because I'm a big fan of the vampires, as you know. I love the Mythic Legions vampires, and all that. I mean, I grew up on heavy metal, right? So I was corrupted by Judas Priest, and Ozzy Osbourne. But yes, so this guy. Here, I'm going to turn off the light because it's too bright.
Go ahead, and while I'm going to highlight this real quick, because good old Zalmul, man. Okay, go ahead and go to the website just to check out the not bios, but I guess the copy that he wrote for these two. They're really fun. Okay, show us this guy.
So there's this guy, right? It's a good series of skulls, and I know it's hard to kind of focus on.
I noticed it was flickering. Is it just the contact? What's going on?
Oh yeah, it's because if this I'm loosening it up enough, but like if the battery makes contact, it'll do it.
Oh,
I'll just turn it on, whatever. Then it won't flicker. So yeah, so there is this little skull motif, and I started doing this guy, and of course, you know, would this be like necromancers or vampires or whomever, and little spikes at the bottom. But I thought of that's like another faction, another family of things. And actually, my favorite piece is not that belongs to this family of things products. Is this guy. So this was super fun. So this is like a ceremonial candle pedestal. That's what
I love that one.
So what's that?
What did you say? I missed it.
Candle pedestal. That's what I mean.
Candle pedestal. Got it.
So I thought like, wow, yeah, like, and then I started thinking of all these fun things, like creating like all these, these symbols, what do these things mean, just for like ceremonies and stuff, so like I said, these turn on and whatnot, but it's got a different language, like it's sharp, it's angular. So I'm trying to also kind of come up with a visual language that I could transfer to other things. So like these guys are all about
working indie too. But I mean, I just thought of like in Temple of Doom kind of stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, I love my Mezco Indiana Jones figures. If I ever to build a diorama later down the road, we discovers like a secret, like demonic, chamber or whatever. Like you want like, well, at least I want like 10 of these in there, lighting up the space. But then, okay, coincidentally, so where's this? I just did a kind of a custom. It's more of a kit bash, but I found this head on eBay. So forgive me, I don't know who sculpted this, but like this is another like sculptor that I bought on eBay. She's great. And I had that Ghost of Christmas Future Past figure.
Christmas Past.
Right. And I wanted to do something with her because I, kind of used the body from my Mask of the Red Death, turn him into this devil demon with wings guy, and I wanted to use these robes for something. So I found this head. But in my mind, right, it's like this story-wise goes with this, right?
Yes.
Like she could be like this awesome, super powerful priestess that's like doing some ceremony in some space that's decorated by these things. So that's how my brain works, with these things.
Yeah, I love it. It's cool. It's such a fun new sort of like nerdy medium for you to play in, and even the writing, right? To figure out Zal, is it Zal or Shal?
I'll say Zalmul.
Zal. Okay. Zalmul. Love it. Okay, so let's get away from maybe the torches. Let me go back to let's see the collections. So you've got the sort of featured items on the page, and you've got like this stuff, which I think is hilarious. This reminds me of, so now I guess it is still kind of got a little bit of that IKEA language. It's got a little bit of that Apple language too, in terms of typography and design. And then let's talk about braziers. What'd you say?
Yeah, braziers. And you were the one who's like, dude, we need those too. And I was like, okay.
Yes.
So
I thought this would be great for the way you structure using that, the thing that is used in the, anyways, I don't know what you want to reveal. So you can talk about how these things are constructed if you want. But you can illuminate the halls and chambers of your action figure dioramas and adventures with our original braziers. I could totally see these again, a wall like C, or in these cool dios, or in these. Why does it say sold out?
There's a good reason. I don't know.
Oh, you got to fix that.
I don't know if somebody's bought stuff since we've been online. Maybe they are sold out.
Oh, does that do automatically?
Okay. I would think Shopify does that, but oh crap! It means
anyway.
I don't. Maybe that's what that's a good reason for it saying that, or I could have just made a big mistake and not put the right quantities down in my inventory. But
okay. So this Malmec one again is more in that sort of human language with rivets and stuff.
Right.
Can you show the size again? Yeah.
Okay. So
hold it up next to a.
Yeah, and I know there's no secrets here. I'm going to be like share with everybody how these things are made, because if you go ahead and buy one, you're going to see how they're made. So I'm using the same flame for either that brazier, for like a more human, could be orc, could be anything you want, right? It's yours. You do with what you want with it. And I'm again trying to like be as economical and use like shared parts. And the way they're lit inside is I found these again like on Amazon, and these are like these little waterproof like LED lights. And
they're like tea lights then, right?
They're tea lights, but you can like drop them in the water. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. You fancy cocktail or whatever, but that's what goes into here. And that's all it is. It's just, you just stick it in there, just drop it in, drop this on, and there you go. Boom. And again, it's really kind of blown out and white there, but it's really more orange. But yeah. So
yeah, these don't dim at all either, right?
No, they're either on or they're off. That's it.
That's 2.0.
Yeah, well, that's what I need to find. Like, yeah, if I can find it on Amazon that dims, it'll dim.
Scroll Temu, baby. But no, yeah.
So
no, that's cool. I love. Yeah, they're
you wanted
really
size.
great looking.
You wanted scale, right? All right.
I'm a size queen.
Who do we not have here? Let me pick. Here we go. One of my recent favorites. So I'll try and put it like next to his foot. There you go. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Careful. He's got the soft goods. He might burn.
I know. Well, because I was also thinking about this too, right? It's if you had, so this is where I can't help how my brain works. It's like, I didn't want it any higher because then it's like, it's top heavy. And it's like, in what situation would you want that giant of a flame that high to your head? Right. So I tried to in real life, what would this really apply to? So, and then I also thought about like, okay, if you're building a diorama or whatever, it's like, maybe it's more dramatic if it's like uplighting people or something like that. So, whoops, there you go.
Now we're going to find out how durable it is.
Let's see. Intact, 100%.
Trevor is saying you need more of those Valwyn. And I think I might be a bad Legions collector because I'm not catching that reference if I'm missing something. The Valiant Knight, is that what it is?
or maybe that's one of my products. I just forgot the names.
Oh, maybe that is. Oh, sorry. You're right. You're right. Maybe
Yeah.
that. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Duh. Sorry. Oh, okay. Here, wait. Let me clear this. Come on, StreamYard, and come on, Brick. Get your brain together. It is right here. You go. Yes, it is this one. It might
Is
be
it really?
because someone might have.
Is it really sold out? No.
I don't know. Yeah, he said there was only one, according. So yeah, it's probably just a quantity error.
Yeah, there's definitely more than one that exists.
Okay, that will definitely be fixed.
Yes.
And then Josh Brown suggests, hey, what about different color flames? Like
Oh, funny you should mention that, Josh.
blue
Brown.
flames or purple flames.
Yes.
Blue flames, the hottest flame out.
Yes.
And
That is a
highly
fantastic idea.
highly articulated, says Trevor's buying up all your stock. You say funny you say that. Were you going to say that you're thinking about that, or you're in progress?
Because I mean,
Okay.
once you start to make these things, then you start to have other ideas like, wow, what could I do with that? Blah, blah, blah. And I thought, could there be like an exclusive thing? Like you talked about how you and I aren't going to be, unfortunately, at Legion's Con this year. And what's even more embarrassing is I actually have a ticket and I'm still not going. I can't go. But I have a pass. Maybe I should give it to somebody. Whoever needs a pass, let me know. What was I going to say? But I thought about like next year, if I do make it to Legion's Con, could I do something like a Legion's Con exclusive? And maybe there's different color flames or a different colorway with one of these things, or or something like that. So yes, I think those are all fantastic ideas.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Here's and I'm waiting for the modern stuff. Where's the trash can with the flame?
So for those of you who are into your TMNT collections.
Yeah, there you go. Or the Batman down in the lower, the Narrows. Yeah, the Narrows. The
Narrows. Yeah,
exactly. Josh Brown Toys says you are now going in spirit, which is awesome. Because so it sounds like, is that the plan, that you'll have some stuff at least for people to check out over on Josh Brown?
I'll probably pass some on to Josh. Just a handful of things and just
that's
look
awesome.
at and play with.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you,
rock.
Josh. Yeah,
I love this. Have you thought about just to add more work, but like even did you think about painting the flames at all, or adding like some variation on the flames?
I thought about it, but here's the problem. This is what I've learned from my own job. If you paint something on the outside like this, unless you're painting it with, which I'm still trying to locate, a translucent color, if you paint it with something opaque and you turn the light on, it looks dark. It's backlit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a challenge.
Yeah, there's also this. You need to create a 2025 dumpster fire.
That's right.
And what's up, John? Good to see you. Figuratively, what's going on, man? And then I brought this up earlier, but J Toys 666, Sign of the Beast, says awesome candelabra and torch.
Thank you.
You don't need to actually that one. And okay, so Adam might have been onto something there, because apparently he needs another one.
Okay.
So yeah, we got to fix the quantity, because you definitely have multiple.
I have a handful of everything. I have a ton of torches in like double digits of torches. Yeah, there you
go. Oh, see, this is how people figure out your stuff, dude.
All right, so I got the guys, folks. First time using Shopify, the whole thing. I got to figure this out. I don't know why that is, but
sold out. Okay. All right. Fun. Good. Okay. So we got, I'll try and move a little bit faster. Sorry for the slowness, but there's so many cool things here. So that's our candle. I love these. These are actually my favorite, just because of the mix of the organic and inorganic, the candles themselves. We looked at this. Oh my God. Elrindel. This is perfect. You can't pronounce the names of your figures, and you won't be able to pronounce the names of your candles. But yes, this is whatever that is. That's part of this awesome collection. I love them all there. This thing looks fantastic. The Bazroth candle pedestal. You can, pour the blood of small animals on top. Sure, or your enemies. And then this is more the dwarven. This is, I love the geometry on this. So cool.
You know, I saw a meme, or it's not a meme, but yeah, it was a meme like on something, and they basically said like, and they showed like for the Art Nouveau, some architecture of Art Nouveau, you know, or whatever, and then something else that was Art Deco. So like, so basically, Art Nouveau is Elven, and Art Deco is dwarven. It's like, yeah, you're kind of right, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the cues, right?
What is this, Roland? What is this meant to be? Which collection is this for?
This is more human, castle, citadel, but you know, again, it could also.
I was going to say this is like Saint Raymond's Catholic Church, is what this is.
Well, I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, it's a little Byzantine. It's a little. It's not Baroque. It's a little. It's if it's not Baroque.
If it's not Baroque,
Romanesque.
Romanesque.
Art school kicking in. Romanesque. But the other thing I wanted to have was just a variety, right? Like variety of materials. Like this one is supposed to look like it's made of wood, and maybe
that makes sense.
Platter on top of there. Others like this dwarven one, right? It's like it's made of. Well, what are their materials in their world? Or stone, of course.
Minerals, stone.
Stone. It'd be made of stone, and so again, I wanted to have those
or mithril,
or mithril, right? Just to have some again a different take on things. And to really kind of create contrasts, but make them kind of less generic, you know, if that's the way to put it.
You know what I appreciate a lot is the thought you put into the candles, the sizing.
Yes.
The heights, because these are effectively the same pieces, right?
Yep.
But if you rotate them in your scene, you've got two, they don't look exactly the same. You just rotate it slightly. Yeah. I love that. I love the little wax, little droppings and everything. It's cool.
Yeah.
Remind me after the stream to tell you about the science lesson I did with your nephews and candles.
Oh, nice. All right.
And also telling them not to burn down the house. But yes. Here's a big fan of Baroque, Brian. Brian Brink loves Baroque. Brian Brink is a big Baroque brute. Awesome.
Is Brian a music nerd? Does he, if he likes Baroque? I don't know.
I don't know if it's music or what, but Brian Brink, I love it. Adam is saying nope, but I know how they're super annoying back end for inventory works. He works with Shopify quite a bit through AWOC stuff and others, so he knows what a pain it is like this. Yes. And here, yes, he does know a guy. He knows a guy, and so folks definitely need. Trevor's not the only one who needs some of these. So, you know, get that factory going, man. Fire up the forge.
Oh, it's fired up. Label printers, boxes, all that stuff. It's ready to rock. But I just need to get my act together on the back end.
John needs these universal monsters. Absolutely. Very cool. Yeah, I love this. But also in terms of quantities, you're just making these. Like I know you've been pumping these out and kind of factory style and then painting and all that kind of thing. So yeah, please folks, definitely part of what I wanted to do here today is to let people know. I've been trying to tag photographers that I know who I want to plus their shelves and their displays. So let people know that imaginary action exists and, you know, make it busy. And
if you're curious, this is how they come, at least the torches. You get that little
packaging.
So then there's the torch, and then the little baggie is this little thing. Mm-hmm. So that's how they come, and then you get a little free sticker for your laptop or whatever with my logo. But you know, one more thing I want to say. We've been talking. So what's that?
Batteries included.
Batteries included. Yep.
Sorry, one more thing. You'll like this, Mr. Okay. I was at Long Beach, then went to Fullerton. Brian Brink is actually a classic musical class in college. He had to listen to Bach over and over and over. Those Brandenburg concertos get catchy after a while.
Oh yeah.
Ted has familiar with some time in college music classes.
Yep. That was didn't quite go as planned, but that's okay. One last thing I will say about the website, because you're asking about the logo and the graphics. I reminded the other inspiration in there. If you take back, you notice how
to the site.
You notice how every kind of product has we can't see you for whatever reason.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
there
thought
you
you
go.
said you were going to show something. And
No. You know, like back to the website.
I was
but you know-
admittedly eating.
Oh, that's okay. If you go back to like just back out one page, one more. Okay. See how everything kind of has a color assigned to it?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the other way that these things kind of like go, you know, they go together. For those of you of a certain age, and if your mom shopped at J.C. Penney's back in the day, there's this line of kids' clothes called Garanimals. And Garanimals had these little labels. Big Baroque buff. All right.
Love it.
I love the
I love the alliteration too. Very Marvel. Make mine Marvel.
But the Garanimals, and if your mom or your parent was not adept at choosing clothes to coordinate with each other, Garanimals came with like a little animal attached to each pants, and you're supposed to like, okay, well, this gorilla labeled thing, this goes with this gorilla labeled shirt, and that's how you put clothes together. So it's partly that. So that's why you'll see like all of our kind of elfin things are kind of in the blue. But the other inspiration for that color coding was the original Star Wars figures, because remember they had just like the back of them,
the window
color, and then just that solid color, and then I was like, man, that is just permanently imprinted on my brain, and I said, wow, that's my little love letter to those toys, you know. I
love it. So it's sorting alphabetically. What, I can't sort by collection? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I got it. So these are all meant to be together. You could also tell by the language of the names. Like, of course, Malmec comes with Frederick and Roland. So if you're really trying to get matchy with your action figure decor, use the color code.
There you go.
I love it, man. That's great stuff. Thank you, John. John has you bookmarked. Hey, Allison Retro Toy Princess is here. Good to see you, Allison. Let's address some of the questions that folks had for you before we talk some ephemera things. So actually, let me start on some technical thing. How easy is it to replace the, well, come on, Mr. There it is. How easy is it to replace the batteries? And are they readily available?
Funny, yeah. So here's this guy again. I'm going to take the flame part off. So it comes like this. Right? There's a little diode. Turn it upside down over, and then you unscrew the thing, and it has a little battery packet. This is the way it came from the manufacturer. They basically wrap these little watch batteries together, and they put a little plastic around it to kind of keep the three together. So I would imagine if you had to replace this, you had to buy 3 of these like watch battery things and drop them in one at a time. But the tricky part is like I discovered this on my own, is like this little diode light kind of comes out too, and now I'm going to screw it all up, but like this is what's inside that canister. This is the light. You have to make sure to put this with the light sticking out, because the other side is where the battery makes contact to. So you just have to make sure when you drop it back in,
they're both flat and flush.
They're both flat and flush, but one has a little, you know. So you just got to make sure, and it's falls flat in there. Just take some doing, shake it around, and then you put the battery back in, and then you just screw this thing back on. So all of these batteries are replaceable. So that's what it looks like. And then for the other guy, let's go with these guys for this candle thing. It's like you get a coin and you unscrew this thing, and there's one of those flat like batteries in there.
Yep.
Key fobs. Yeah. Maybe it's easier to see in this one. Yeah. So
let me offer thoughts for 2.0 or in the future.
Yeah.
One is just instructions, right? Like listing out like what batteries to get, because that's a pain in the butt, and sometimes maybe even not that I necessarily need to, throw more business towards Amazon's way, but like just guiding people to where they can get stuff, because that's always been a fun, annoying little thing. And then just maybe like little instructions or something, or like a link to a video where you show like how to replace it and do that kind of stuff. Cause that's always annoyed me. You get Mezco now, and how amazing though are their instructions, like to actually have instructions.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And then here's a 2.0 nerd thing. Okay. So this is like me asking for the world, but some of this stuff. So like, boop. Oh wait, come on. Oh, bad. Oh, you suck, Mety Toyz. Oh, you know what? Maybe I put him in on the... Oh, I screwed up. I put it in. Like you said, put it in properly. So these things. So this is Mety Toyz. That's how their heads are, right? So they have this whole little light fixture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mesco's kind of got a similar thing with that, like that. Yeah.
So you got to make sure, to your point, you got to put it in the right direction. Otherwise, I had the light backwards. And it's all magnet activated. So the magnet is in here.
Right.
And I think I'm supposed to be doing this. And maybe I broke it or something because it's not working now. Boo, weak. But that's the idea. Anyways, oops, sorry. Dumb idea because it didn't work. But things to think about. Not that you really have to figure it, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. See, it says good demo. I think he meant you, not me. Thanks, dude. Yes, that's why I got fired from Costco. No, I'm just kidding. I never worked at Costco. Let's answer some questions and then let's do a little bit of ephemera talk because especially with freaking G-Con, and we're not going, but man, we had such a good time last year, G-Con. So I want to talk a little bit about that with you on screen because we're gonna, if we don't talk about it on screen, we're either doing it by text or FaceTime anyway. Just some comments. Jim is saying there's always a need for diorama accessories and props for photography. Very cool. And I think that's a great idea just because it highlights the way I've been talking about it, at least is like, hey, if you're into toy photography, definitely check these out. Get some practical light sources in there as well. And I think these are definitely photo ready. But then the other piece is for display, man, they're cool looking. This will totally plus your display. We already talked about the spotlight, but so on that note, is there projection about where you go next? I know you just launched these and this is sort of your first batch of products, but have you thought about like other themes? And because there's a couple of those too, like this one is saying, Brian saying, hey, ever thoughts about, do you have any future ideas for illuminated cosmic type stuff? And because it is very dark in space.
Yes. So which question should I answer first?
So let's the question, I guess the first one is the question is broadly, have you thought about other stuff? And you said yes. Can you address the cosmic one? And then
so one of the other things I invested in was a laser cutter. And I want to experiment with like clear acrylics and colored acrylics, and that gives me ideas for, lit up things that are a bit more futuristic, if you will, or more cosmic, in that way. So definitely, yes, thinking about that. That's in the future. That machine is sitting back there ready to be abused and used. But in general, I've thought about, like, again, the staff thing is one of the things I've been thinking about. One of the things that I'm challenged with the staves is with the material that
No, you're not jumping ahead, but there was a question. So there was somebody who did ask about staff. So yes, there was.
So about the staves is I got to figure out a way to make them durable, because since I'm making everything out of the filament plastic, the skinnier it is, and this is like physics, right? The skinnier it is and the longer it is, the easier it is to break, right? And you want to keep the look. So I'm figuring out ways in my head to kind of reinforce that with some other materials to make those stabs something long and skinny like that strong. So I've been thinking about that. I've figured out how to make it light up. That's not the problem. You know what I mean? So that's not the challenge. It's just the other part. But then hopefully in the near future, I don't know. Did you see the photos I sent you yesterday?
Yes, but I don't.
Yes. Yeah. So I would like to get even bigger into kind of environmental things. And again, going back to the pricing thing, I want to make sure that everything I do here is like accessible, right? But the other thing I wanted to do is like, nothing is a one-off, right? Unless there's a reason for it to be a one-off. I wanted to just, again, I don't want things to be exclusive. I want things to be accessible. So I'm trying to figure out a way, and I've got another piece of equipment to kind of just reproduce something large, right? In a cost-effective kind of way, right? And something more environmental. And again, something that kind of complements like the shelves that we already have. But I'll say that, big inspiration for me in this next thing I want to build or produce is and it'll make more sense when I have something to show you physically or share with everyone here, is you remember those catalogs we used to get that come with like the G.I. Joe toys, G.I. Joe Real American Hero?
Yeah.
And they would have all these great little things that they put the figures on top of.
In their photos. Yeah.
In their photos, right? It's like, I want to make that for our 6-7 inch figures, right? To kind of like display them like in that kind of thing. So that's kind of what my brain.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but if folks don't know, if you look at some of those old photos, like on the card backs or in the catalogs, they would have like the figures to cross sell, but they'd be on these like platforms essentially that maybe look like like a mountain or some other structures. And I'm excited about where this goes. Yeah.
So that's probably the next thing. Again, I'm having like challenges with plastic right now, but I got to figure it out. Good thing is like I work with a lot of smart people. I can ask questions there, but I also like work in an area here in LA, which is like, they got all these crazy, like, resources because like, they make movie props. They do all these things. So of course there's that one shop that sells these plastics and just does that kind of forming with the plastics that I can go pick their brains.
Yep.
So
hey, real quick, let me also say, Cal, I'm looking at Cal and I'm just admiring this. This is Ted's paint work too. I love, it looks really good.
Oh, thanks.
The shading on his nose and stuff. I love that. It looks really good. Light it up. Oh, sorry. Is that a Crow reference or no? Do you remember that? Light it up. Light it up.
It's that. And then what was that Beastie Boys song too? Off Check Your Head. Was that Light 'Em Up though? Maybe that was Light 'Em Up. Not light it. Light it up. Gotta light it up. Gotta light it up right now. Wasn't that Beastie Boys?
Oh yeah. Is that what they say? I don't know if that's what they say.
Maybe that's, it's like me trying to figure out what the Go-Go's were saying, like, and be completely wrong. But yeah.
Okay, let me see what else folks were wondering about. And then I guess you are thinking about other themes, but I think this is a really great idea. Like for thinking, it's part of it is thinking about what people need, right? So all of this stuff is super helpful. Hit Ted up on IG for sure with like, like, oh, these are cool. Like I've been looking for this kind of thing in terms of lights. But I could see this right here where it's like
totally
like a spotlight in general. And then all it is just that little flat piece that goes on top, right? To make it whatever.
Right. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's see. Freaks is just saying, I use those LED lights all the time and never thought to do something like that. So, are you, again, I know what you want to in terms of structure and stuff. What I've been most impressed by is these and the lighting of it, because we haven't really talked about it. Is that something you're prepped to talk about?
Sure. No, it's fiber optics. So this is nothing new. You remember? Okay. School carnivals, circa forever ago. Remember those dumb like a flashlight which had like a bunch of these little
like the squiggly things, and they're just
little, they look like clear strings, but and then the ends would like light up, right? And they have look like little dancing fireflies or whatever. That's all this is. And I saw that, and because of course we get these things at school carnivals. I take them apart. I go, how are you doing that? Like, oh, okay, it's just a source light here, and it's just the light is moving through here and ending up on the tip. And so that's all this is. Now, but I will say, I learned a lot. And I broke a lot because these fiber optic little filament things are super fragile. So the trick here for me, especially with this guy, really tricky because the bend that little filament goes and does this in here, it's tricky. I have to be really careful or it'll break. I've broken a bunch. So I actually have, it's kind of ridiculous. But I actually have like another piece of plastic that I use that's just a tube to wrap all of those in there, and I hit it with like a hair dryer just to get the right bend. But you got to like know when to stop, or you're going to melt the thing. So to get it bent, so it's not stressed when it's just instead of it just being folded in there, it's got a natural bend. So
well, now you all know what the last four numbers of my credit card are. Whatever.
Oh, there you go.
No, but I love it because of the craft and just sort of the problem solving that goes into some of this. Like each one's a different shape. Like you said, these are real clumped together. These might be too underneath it, but like different design solutions, different length also means like the light has to travel. And I know that not necessarily a big deal in fiber optics, but that's all stuff you had to figure out, and then be able to recreate on a production level so that, you know, these things work. So Ted's stuff works. Cool. And then there's a random question, sort of, I don't know, how do you can you answer? Sure. Did you have the freedom to create your own designs while working for Disney? Heard tales about very strict contracts.
Well, okay, so I'm a full-time employee. So what that basically means, Brian, is that whatever I do for the company or within their walls or whatever, it's like they own that. That's what they're paying me to do. They're not really my designs. I mean, they're my designs so much as, and to be, let's be honest, there's like, I don't do much of that anymore. I'm more of a bureaucrat these days. I used to be like a creative director and a designer and this, that. Now I'm the guy who's, you know, helping those guys succeed and get them work in projects and all those types of things. But yeah, in my past, you know, whether it was at Disney Interactive and then Walt Disney Imagineering or wherever else, it's like whatever I create there, it's like, it's not mine. You know what I mean? I'm here at the behest of the company, whoever that might be, to create these things for them. So yeah, and that's okay, right? That's you're there. It's we don't sign our stuff, right? It's Disney. It's all Disney, and that's what we want the guests and the fans to know. It's like, we don't want to know that thing is like, you know, who made that? I mean, some people want to know. Got it, right? But reality is, it's kind of like, we want you to be immersed in that world and that story. Don't be bogged down by like, oh, that Ted Robledo guy did that or blah, blah, blah. You know, you want to believe you're in Star Wars. You want to believe that's Iron Man's thing. You want to believe you're in the world of Frozen, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah.
Very cool. All right. And then a couple folks, what's up, Leland? Good to see you. Amazing customizer, does dope stuff. You've seen his stuff. Dope Pinoy, homie. Brian Brink, heard you say earlier about the acrylic laser etch stuff. So what I heard that too, like you're talking about light up stuff and being able to etch it and light it in a way so that stuff gets illuminated. Again, I'm thinking Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance, the sort of like screens that they're on, or even from the movies, right? That's all just acrylic.
Or weapons or whatever, right? I mean, there's all kinds of things, you know.
Nice. Ooh, you have a replicator? Not sure what that means. Is that a specific kind of laser etching thing? Or
Star Trek.
Did you mention Star Trek replicator?
No, but I think but I'm just trying to think of a way. No, I don't. I think that's a joke. No, I wish.
Justin Mohan is saying, "Congrats, Ted. This is really awesome," and he wants to throw in there that you need TMNT stuff, which I think you mentioned this earlier, related to my comment about the trash can fire for an alley scene. That could be TMNT, as you mentioned, or in their lair.
Right.
So those are all good ideas. I think, I mean, obviously that trash can has plenty of space in it to have some fun with. And Brian Brink remembers those fiber optic things. They sold them at the Ice-Capades. Okay. So Imaginary Action, all this is at imaginaryaction.com, as well as his IG and stuff. If you're unfamiliar with the show, on the right, there's a QR code. I didn't say this earlier. And also at the bottom, you'll see this thing scrolling by with a URL that'll actually take you to a document that should be ready later tonight. I've got some stuff to do, but it'll have all the links if you're watching this on the replay. So you can see his stuff that we've shown, so maybe some specific links to certain things. Definitely go follow, do all the things. But let's shift gears a little bit. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Ted. Awesome stuff. I'm excited. I'm glad that other folks are like it seems to be resonating with folks as well. So that's super cool. Oh, actually, you know what? There is this one other one. I forgot this. Would you ever consider doing an action figure line, or is that too far off?
Oh man. I mean, that's a dream, right? But dude, to be honest, it's like, I don't know what my appetite for that is right now, because there's so much good stuff that's being created. You and I talk a lot about, you talk more than me. About you actually like show me all these things that are coming out of like Asia and China, you know, the not your traditional IP. And I admire folks like who was the gentleman you just had on and what he's doing.
Brian Burke.
National. Oh my God. You know, I mean, it's just, I guess there's just so much of like brain that I have left to go around, and to even like get that done, and even from, and you know this from working with Spiro Toys, whatever hoops folks like you have to do to get a partner and figure out production.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly my modeling skills are not at that level, right?
Yeah.
You know, by any means. So, you know, whatever the guys, I love what they're doing at, you know, Savage Crucible, as I said, obviously
Mm-hmm.
4 Horsemen, but I love, you know, you and I, we can't wait to get our hands on those Brutal Realm figures, right? So I say all that to say, it's like, there's so much out there that I don't know if I'm hungry to sort of like start doing that myself, because I feel like I'm super excited just to be, you know, a consumer of what everybody else is creating that way. I'm trying to do something that I don't see a lot of, or would want to complement all the cool figures that I'm getting from all these different people. So
people have asked me that too, and I'm just like, I don't need to, man. Everybody else they're doing just fine right now. Like what am I going to contribute?
But my problem, our problem is kind of like, you know, not, you know, is trying to like stop buying all of the things that are out there, right? I mean, there's so many good choices. So
and thank you for the comments, guys. It allows me to hide when I'm eating, because enjoying some Jollibee. All right. That was a plug. Okay, let's go on and talk. Speaking of plugs, let's do some ephemera talk, dude. You and I will not be at Legions Con this year. We had a ridiculous time last year, and that was both of our first times at Legions Con. And I just want to quickly send folks to this. It's also, I believe, on YouTube. It is on YouTube as well. But the Horsemen have been, you know, this year since pretty recently, they've brought on Eric's brother. Oh my God, I keep forgetting. If anybody's in the chat remembers, please let me know what Eric's brother is. Oh God, I know that's a weird thing for both you and I to be known as so-and-so's brother, but he's been working with them on his video like production stuff. And so he did an awesome documentary little clip about Legions Con in general and what it is, to kind of hype up this year, but also highlight last year. And so there's great footage of the one that you and I went to. We also got to do intern. You know, you can see a lot of folks probably here who are here in the chat pop up here. Cool to see the Legions ladies, folks there. There's Cloud. What's Cloud here today? I don't know if Cloud was here, but and then there's footage here of G-Con. Okay, that's where I want to go. So one, if you're unfamiliar with Legions Con and you just don't listen when we talk about it a million times here on the channel, the Friday of the first day of the con, before the con kicks off on Saturday, is G-Con, which is their sort of annual presentation of all the new things that are coming from their different toy lines next year. And actually, I take that back. It's not even next year, because what they do is they announce the new Mythic Legions line, the full wave, that right after the show basically goes up for pre-order and is open for like a month or so, right? So what I wanted to ask you before we get looking at other stuff is what do you think is coming from these guys, knowing like I know you're familiar, you know, like everything that came more recently. You and I just got that Jersey Devil. They've got these awesome figures coming in for the Graveyard. Ox Crew, you and I are excited about. So given what we know, what do you either thinking might be coming next or 2 Fridays from now, or what do you want to see?
Okay, so I've thought a lot about this since you and I talked about this a few days ago. And far be it for me to sort of, I don't predict crap. I have no idea. Like I can't say like, oh, they're definitely going to do this. But I can say what maybe based on what we had heard last year. So last year was a big year, Beathir. You know, I've got a Beathir coming my way sometime next year. Huge reveal, right? And it was an anniversary year for the Horsemen, so they had to go big, right? But there was a lot of things they revealed. They revealed the role-playing game, you know, the book, and they announced, you know, the return of like these guys, you know, the sort of like redo of sort of the classic guys that people may have missed out, you know,
Legacies of Mythos,
right? Legacies guys, but one of the things that you and I have been talking a lot about recently, especially in these last 2 mythic waves, is you're starting to see a lot more newer parts. You're starting to see, especially with the horror of help me with the name, horror of Isomel. Einsamel, right? They introduced they introduced a new body type, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So take that for a second. And then when they showed us that expanded map of Mythos, right? And you and I were kind of talking about the possibilities of that could be there. And then they dropped on us like, this whole sort of like fantasy sciencey fiction version of like their sort of take on the Mesoamerican kind of inspirations with the who was the soldiers we got last year at the con, the snake guys,
the Ninian.
Right?
Ninian infantry and the
infantry guys, and then you're going to have that's the full snake lower body for the wave that they announced,
the Basilius stuff.
I'm thinking and I'm hoping where they go with is they continue this trend of like trying new things, and with that expanded map I honestly want more races of things that we've never seen before, or pirates. And I say pirates because we've got a lot. Everything we've got from Mythic right now is kind of land based, right? It's like they expanded that map. You saw a lot of bodies of water. It's like, and I'm looking around at sort of like a catalog of parts they've got to use. Even like if you look back at the Sleepy Hollows, the Headless Horseman and what he's wearing, right? A lot of cloth goods. And I think they used that again for the first
the Ghosts of Christmas, or no, what's his name? Marley.
Yeah, Jacob Marley, right? The Jacob Marley. I think that they could, really create some kick-ass pirates and their take on pirates, and then looking at how they're sort of going with just ethnic variations and different takes and backgrounds. I don't know what pirates movie it was that they sort of expanded, and you had like pirates like from Asia and pirates from South America and all those types of things. I think they could go huge with their catalog of parts and do a kick-ass like diverse line of like pirates, and then go even like going back to the movies, the Davy Jones route, right, with like creature
monster
sailor
kraken like looking thing.
Yeah, so I think that would be an awesome addition to everything we've gotten so far. We've got knights, we've got elves, we've got vampires, we've got dwarves. Give us some seafaring mythics, That's my take.
That's awesome. And I don't really have to add much because I'm exactly with you. When I think about what they revealed last year, knowing that, particularly starting with that map, that for me also kind of was just like a great starting place. Oh, perfect. That they sort of revealed all these land masses. And again, for folks who aren't super steeped in the lore, when they revealed this, like essentially story arc 1, part 1 of the Mythos sort of story based on the action figures is sort of over. Like that war against the Dark Four and their forces, that's ends. And then this moment that when Jeremy was here a couple weeks back, he wanted to remind everybody like, hey, remember when Beathir sort of like reemerges? Well, that we talked about like an earthquake, and that actually ties in with the exact same earthquake that we mentioned in the story of Einsamal. So like this notion of like there's a massive like quake that disturbs the land, and then we realize there's more lands and more peoples, to your point, and a lot of water. So I'm right there with you. Like I look at this and I'm like, okay, I want to say like there's been teases too that people have been referencing a lot of Jeremy saying things like set sail with us or something along those lines. So they've also, however, said if they ever were to do pirates, they wouldn't necessarily be your swashbuckling pirate. So maybe it doesn't quite use the same clothes, but I'm with you on, I think it might have been Pirates of the Caribbean 3 that you're thinking of, where they sort of start off, where we see the East and like all these different parts, right, of the world and their different cultures and what their pirates look like. I'm for that, including all of the fantastic culture. Give me the Ninian lizard version of a pirate. Like they come from all these places, but they too have left those places and decided to hop on the seas and join up with these crews of people from whatever. So this like, I guess, new faction or force of seafaring, nomads or raiders or pirates.
Raiders. There you go.
Yep. Mishmash. Man, that would be amazing. So I'd be for that. We did get in the Reign of the Beasts, like you said, we got to see a little bit of the cultures of sort of the Mesoamerican kind of lizard type folk. I'm just saying, keep doing that. I don't have an idea like it should be this, but I'm with you. You introduced smaller scale. What is the new scale called? The little tiny dudes? Gnome? Is it gnome scale or something?
Yeah, I think it's gnome scale. Yeah. Yeah.
Just use those things, man. Use those, whatever palette you have. Like imagine the raiders / pirates. I'm thinking like dreadnoughts, right? Like
Sure.
they just pull from everything.
Yep.
So you could use old parts, new parts, mix and match. It's a pop and swap fiesta of like the palette is real broad, right?
Right.
It's not like your candles earlier where it's like, oh, this is for dwarves. This is for like this stuff could be dwarven / ogre / mishmash. Down for that. To kind of add on to that, then the other thought would be, hey, the I was gonna say the Furious Four, the Dark Four and their forces get defeated, but that doesn't mean I can't imagine they all disappear. Like after a battle, like the rise of the First Order, right?
Right. Do they come back bigger, better?
Right? Or those things are still around. So whether I don't know, it wouldn't make sense for me to come back bigger immediately. That feels like okay, we just did that. But those we got to hear a little bit about where some of those things are. What happened to all the skeletons? What happened to all the? I don't know. There's probably some lore thing that was probably addressed for some of this, but I'll just throw that out there. Like some of them could be parts of the pirates, etc. So imagine what could come with it. Like Rick is saying,
a boat
whose name is. It's not here, but Rick Jones, which I think Davy Jones and Cthulhu, but anyway, all this stuff like a boat. I know Adam, he's like, he prefers not to speculate. I like to just be surprised, be a surprise. Yeah, sure. And I think it'd still be a surprise because we could be totally wrong. I just love the idea of mermaids. Like that's my thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Diversity of parts, right? So like give me different lower bodies like they did with snake bodies for the longest all of last year. I was saying like, yeah, where is this? Like we had like a mermaid Kickstarter. We started to see more lower snake bodies from Mattel. Give me that kind of stuff. Give me weird segmented bodies, scorpion lower body, whatever. So anyway, that's all I have. I don't really have anything more. I would love to know what other folks are thinking, but at the end of the day, man, it's going to be really cool. And as Rick Jones points out, water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Well, yeah, I love it. This is something that I thought when you're mentioning pirates. Josh is saying, I think they wouldn't have worked with Corsair if they were going to do pirates. I think they did say take to the sea, so maybe more creatures in the water. Yep. And I also think, to what I was saying earlier, if they do pirates, and they've said this, it may not be like the Corsair folks and the Tide Realm folks. Theirs does skew a little bit more in the more traditional, I guess, like sense of what
yo-ho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mixed with fantasy and stuff. They could just completely redefine it. Like pirates today that exist on the waters, they don't look like the pirates that we think of. And truthfully, that's all fantasy anyways, right? That's all Treasure Island impacted stuff. Watch Black Sails, people. This is my question. If he's here, I know Trevor's a busy guy. He's probably shooting. But if he's here, I get that he'd want to just be quiet. He's probably laughing at us going, you guys are foolish. You have no idea what's coming. But anyway, that's all. I think it's fun. I'm really curious to see what happens. I know no matter what they come out with, I'm always impressed and sort of blown away. I will say this, though. The other piece would be how they've been doing more props, kind of like what you're doing.
Yeah.
I actually think that they're going to do more of that. And I wonder if that'll become more of a featured kind of thing, whether it's like, because your stuff is, obviously I love your stuff and it's great. But can you imagine, like you got the ox screw, right? And I know you love their accessories.
Mm-hmm.
They clearly have a penchant for it. And obviously they can paint and sculpt like beasts. Yeah. What could they do, right? And really on the accessory tip, for Einsamal, they had barrels and all that stuff. I could see them doing, just things that we wouldn't normally think of. And I think of like Cosmic gave us generators and whatever. Like, what would be the equivalent? Treasure chests, you know,
Yeah,
piles
of gold, right?
Mhm.
The whole thing. You know, the more I think about it, whatever they do, I hope they do the thing that the mere mortals can't do because they have the
fair enough.
infrastructure to do it, right? It's
Mhm.
like, and that's not a matter of like, don't take food off my plate or whatever. No, or anybody else. No, but it's just kind of like, I want them to dream big and do big, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm not saying everything has to be a Bay there because that's amazing, right? That's only, you know, somebody with their capacity and their knowledge of doing things, the Four Horsemen or a Hasbro or Mattel could do something like that, right? Now, obviously, Four Horsemen is doing it to a whole other level with detail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's kind of like, I get it. I mean, would I like more variations on this? Their take on this? Yeah, why not? I want the more the merrier, right? We want variations. We want to have like different things, of course. But it's kind of like I want them to do better than this. I want them to do something that that's not anything I could make. You know what I mean? I want them to do something like this. Just okay. Here's something that I wish they would do. I don't know what this is. It's a little gimmicky, but I love those toys that we grew up with that had little gimmicky like actions and things, trap door things or moving things or flipping things or like that's the kind of stuff I wish. I don't know what that would be for Mythic or Cosmic Legions, but I would want something like that's got some engineering to it that, you know, that really kind of make it fun to mess around with and play with.
That stuff would be cool. I can imagine how, that's just complicated, right? For them action features. That's just a whole new level of things they don't. But anyway, like we said, whatever they're doing, I'm sure we're going to be really impressed by the quality and all of that. So I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, you and I won't be there, but I will be watching for folks. Whatever. If you're at home too, I'm going to be watching. I'm getting sick, and I won't be at work that day. Because I'm going to be here streaming live, looking at whatever they reveal that day. So that's 2 Fridays from now. So, okay. It's getting late, but let's do some quick ephemera, quick bits. I wanted to highlight this because I think it's badass. Shout out to Corey, Steam Powered Mom, Sergeant Sausage, all the AKAs. This is his take on a Lion-O using custom kits. And he was sort of sharing with me who provided what, you can kind of see the stuff here. You can kind of go to their links. So the head, the sword, the claw, and then there's some other bits as well are actually a kit, like a sculpted kit. But I really just love his paint. And I don't know if you ever seen him work, but he's on Highly Posable on Friday nights, and he works fast.
Wow.
Like crazy fast. This thing I think turned out so well, and I laugh at the idea of him wearing.
Is that his dad? Sorry.
Yeah, there's something about some creepy but awesome. And you know, my thing, I've told you this before and others, like I've always been frustrated when I go back and look at the cartoon and the old toys because he didn't look like a lion. He looked like, you know, like a metal dude with like eyeliner.
Right.
But there's a little bit of a fur detail going on in this that Mondo also did that I appreciate. But anyway, just wanted to share this. Any thoughts, reactions?
Oh, it's dope. And I've got like that, you know, I've got the legendary barbarian figure in front of me, which of course which is the body from this. But I love this interpretive stuff. And it's
me too.
You know, I think that again, it's almost like an elevated kind of design and kind of what I like to do with my customs too is it's not enough just to kind of replicate what I had as a kid, but I want to like, you know, kind of do something a little different with it, right? It's just kind of like that spirit figure I was talking about. And I'm looking around over here, you know, when I don't know. I just what I appreciate about this is that, yeah, it's an existing character, but there's some original ideas kind of put to it, you know?
Yep.
So I like it.
Yeah. I'm with you too. Like that. And that's what I would love whenever they go back to like the well of, hey, let's do some Thundercats toys. I'm kind of in the Mondo camp where I'm just like excited when they do add their new bit to it and add their thing. So the Lion-O set is by Toyman Kid. And he's he found that online, so credit to them. And then he's not quite saying who the fur piece is. He just said it's his friend, and his friend kind of doesn't necessarily even want to be credited. But I think it's such a nice touch. Here you go, right here. You ready? It's like, good morning, my neighbors. As Josh Brown points out, it's very Coming to America, very James Earl Jones. With a lion pelt. I love it. Anyways, very cool. Steam Powered Mom, shout out, check him out, follow him because his work is awesome. Corey's a good dude. Speaking of lions, I know you're in for the Noda version of this, which is badass, but this is the Fury Toys one that people are getting in hand, and I'm hoping mine comes soon. But what this is the in-art Wukong. Have you heard of that like video game called Black Myth Wukong? No. So it came out a couple years back, and that's what this is. So this is an actual licensed version by InArt, who to do like 1.6, and it's moved into 1.12. But they've taken from this game. This game is like, this is like some of the other stuff out of Asia that I've shown you, like that Nezha cartoon, where it's like these things are the highest selling things in their genre. In this case, it's a video game, like massive hit internationally, and barely maybe makes it on the radar of a lot of like mainstream conversations in the West about like pop culture. But that's where this design is. It's a little bit more on the sort of grim, dark kind of vibe of take on Wukong. But you've got this on order, right? This, by Noda.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wanted to show it. You and I have talked a little bit about like how cool it is to see Wukong, but it's funny how like there's lots of different takes on Journey to the West and Wukong. And now we've got like multiple companies doing this stuff. And so this post alone is 3 different companies working on characters that work together. So this one here is Fury Toys. That's InArt. And then this one here is Noda. So
I can't wait.
Notice something in this?
The little pieces in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
File those away so we can make it look like Lolo and Lolo's front yard. Anyways, any thoughts on these? Just whatever.
No, they're amazing. You know, it's funny. Speaking of Wukong, right? He's kind of like, in a way, like the way he's reinterpreted as a character, right? And you got different takes on him. He's kind of, and I mean this in the best of ways, he's kind of like the Batman or the Spider-Man, right? Whether it's through video games or cartoons or just whatever the media is, whatever the channel is, it's kind of like taking the core of that character and kind of just taking getting your own take on it or whatever. But it's still Batman, it's still Spider-Man.
Yep.
Like whatever that last PS whatever when they're on the PS3 game, PS5, that Spider-Man that had the white spider design, emblem on that looked really cool. But it's still Spider-Man, and that's still Wukong. I get it.
Yep.
No, I'm happy to see it. I think it's awesome.
And look at that. He looks really great.
Yeah.
And they're just different take art direction-wise, right? It definitely has more of an illustrated sort of like, dramatic cartoony. This is a little bit more leaning into kind of photorealism. I love it. We're filled with choices. And on that note of see these background pieces and stuff, Adam points out, hey, we're going to need some Japanese quote unquote torches for Bushido. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Some lanterns. You can play with some fun materials to get that sort of paper washi look.
That's true.
Anyways, these are dope. This thing is huge. I was talking with Carlos the other day about his because he has this. To borrow Carlos's terms, it's insane. So I'm excited about this figure.
Oh wow!
Relatively quickly, this is a newer thing. I mean, more recently. Sorry, just a couple of days ago. This week, this was yet another Mety Toyz thing. So I showed you this earlier. This is Mety Toyz. It's using the same body. What's smart about these 2 companies? So this is Mety Toyz. This is Grey Knight, formerly Mithril Action. It's basically the same character. This is both their undead thing based on World of Warcraft. And then they both are also in the business of doing orcs. Right. So this is the Grey Knight / Mithril Action. And so I'm holding these two up in particular because these are them disrobed, right? Because I have a habit of disrobing my figures. But yeah, all this stuff comes off. Right. And so what you're looking at there is basically now they've got a great buck that people know, and they're just building parts, not unlike, Mythic Legions. But this is literally, you can get down to them in underwear, and then you can just put all this armor bits. So take a look at this, dude. It's that same skinny sort of undead body, but with a bunch of armor.
Oh, wow. That's smart. Let's get more mileage out of it.
Yeah. This head is. They move beautifully. Like they really like dial in how these things look and the movement. And now they're just, creating different heads and armor bits or whatever. And for all the World of Warcraft players, they're like, hey, see, like here's Nolan. Nolan going, that's a Death Knight from the game. They're like, I can build that character. Or I can get that armor. Or I remember, busting my butt in the game to just get that specific X.
That's rad. That's really rad. So that those eyes light up. Oh yeah, they light up, huh?
Yeah. Mety's the light up thing. I don't know what's up with mine, but
there I got light up. I got.
Look at that. That's your haunted mansion thing. The Lich. Yeah, dude. So there's that. Some quick ephemera. So bouncing over to the other camp. So that was Mety. This is Grey Knight, formerly Mithril Action. This is one that, I'm really trying to chill, but I pre-ordered. But look at this thing, man. It's the same. If I'm correct, it's gonna be this same body, pretty sure.
Okay.
But with different armor, different head.
Is it translucent plastic too?
And it's got translucent. So I was talking with Brian Burke last week, and he was talking about his Kickstarters coming, and folks like Adam. I know Adam is definitely into like translucent figures. And he's like, hey, make sure I get an all translucent thing. And I kind of made my pitch. I was like, hey, I get that. And I know people love that, but what if you like mix translucent with solid, right? So Four Horsemen have done that with different characters more recently, where they paint on top or mix it with parts. I'm just into that look. Like that new Emma Frost they just solicited.
Oh yeah, looks great. The diamond.
Yeah, I love the mix of materials. So like the idea here of like a clear hand with all this, the glowing hand stuff. So this is definitely
oh wow, that's great. Yeah, it's almost like he's like a specter or a ghost, that's underneath all that armor. That's right.
See his elbow? Check out his elbow.
Oh, the bones. That's really smart. That's really, really cool. Or it's just energized, like dead skin. That's awesome. Wow.
So that's what it's definitely this body. So cool. I mean, look at that. Like you've got the chunk of meat there.
Yeah.
And then same here on the knees.
Chunk of meat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Last one for the day, and then we can just enjoy what's left of our Sundays. N.E.W.S. Is there nothing they can do? They can't do. Sorry, I should say. It's just like Homer. N.E.W.S. Dude, so they're doing horses now. So N.E.W.S is the one that you're getting, that guy. Yeah. I have their Wukong. Beautiful figure, such a great body dialed in. So they're using that for this character. That's they have like live action shows of this character. I'm forgetting his name now, as well as animated shows. So that's what they're doing with this character, this cat character guy. Beautiful soft goods all the time. But that horse is now their thing. They're doing horses and steeds. But check this out. Think about like, you wouldn't think that you would need horses that can do martial arts.
Is it like, is this Photoshop and they Photoshopped out the stand, or is it really balanced like that? Because if so, I don't know.
We don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I think no, actually I it's got to be Photoshopped. You'll see why. The balance wise, right?
Yeah.
But still, so you're right. But aside from that, the pose, right? Look at the legs.
Amazing.
Check this out. Here it is. The money shot.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Wow. That is like those old like Chinese paintings of like warriors on horses, you know?
Exactly. That's what I thought of, was like that dramatic painting of that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't suck.
This is where we're at. It's like, oh, we're sitting here, oh, what can be done? And you feel like, oh, people have already done horses, but like, nah, but people haven't done this to their horses, right? There's also that next level of, you can plus the sculpt, you can plus the paint, accessories. You can also really go back to really think about how these things move and pose. And yeah, man. And they have a longma, which is that sort of Chinese dragon horse thing. I don't know if you've seen those. They look like dragons and they got like a horse body, but they solicited something during Wonderfest.
Okay.
I hope it moves like this. Probably not, but man, if they do, this thing is too cool. Look at that. The way that, like, that's the way you lean in,
right?
Because you're trying to not fall off.
That's killer. That's awesome.
Shout out to the posers too. Look at that. The way that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's be honest here, right? Like whoever set this up and whoever posed this is like, making this look really, really good.
Yeah, they're selling it. It's cool stuff, man. Ephemera, I love it. To quickly close out and answer folks' questions, yes, that was definitely translucent, dude. Check out the hands, check out the arms. So damn good. Rick Jones, yes, there are tons of horse options. In fact, I think this weekend at Titan Toy Expo, Savage Crucible, I've teased, and I'm pretty sure they must have revealed it. I just didn't check back today. A horse collaboration with Fish Toys for their Death Adder.
Okay, yeah.
So there's Fish Toys doing those. There's Four Horsemen, of course, doing their fish, and then there's this one coming through. So,
horse.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Rick knows what's up. Anyway, dude, imaginary action. Ted, aka Julius Downey, aka my brother, aka Ted Robledo, the Imagineer, aka Imaginary Action at imaginaryAction.com. Cool stuff, man. Yeah, you've heard me say this. It sounds like folks are definitely intrigued by what you're doing and hopefully interested. I hope you do run into the problem of inventory selling out. You didn't say this earlier, but can you speak to like what your hope is for fulfillment, how long stuff takes? I just realized we completely.
Oh yeah, actually, thank you for reminding me that there is I put that on the webpage, but I'm hoping to get things out between 3 to 5 business days. And I have a day job Monday through Friday. And so right now the plan is to if I get it's reasonable for me to think, within 3 days I could get these things packaged. And thankfully for me, there is a post office just down the street from my office.
Yep.
And so, easy to haul down there and just drop it in. So
love it. So folks, definitely go there, follow Ted, go check out the things. If you have ideas, there are a lot of great ideas here today on the live. Leave them in the comments and I'll definitely get them to Ted, or hit up Ted directly on IG.
Yeah.
And we'll go there or on the website. I didn't even check, but is there a way to leave comments?
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's a contact us there, but go to IG and just drop in your thoughts. Yeah. Trevor's already given me a great idea of a modification that I'm going to do for series 2.
Nice. All right, man. Well, thanks for taking the time again, as always. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Look out 2 Fridays from now, like I said, me and a couple of other folks will be up and early West Coast time at 6, I think, watching G-Con. So that's coming up. And if you didn't see yesterday, I did a special episode with Mega J and Mike at Turning Royalty, because they've got a Kickstarter for this awesome new Masters of the Universe fan convention happening Torrance. Not too far from you.
If it happens, I'll be there.
So shout out to E saying great intro to the product line. Enjoyed the look. Good. Tell the folks. All right, let's head out now. I'm going to go ahead and play some music and we'll just say goodbye to everybody. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
The likes, the subscribes, all the things. Bye-bye. Buddy, go check out Ted's IKEA catalog from Mythos and Middle Earth. Go.